have a perfect day and somebody was better than you. And that's talent, or that's more experience, or maybe that's a better coach, or maybe that's a better environment. But instead of making excuses about why you weren't good enough, just accept that sometimes somebody else is better than you. And if you want a better opportunity, what can we do as a family? What can we do as an outer circle of that family, as coaches, to make that success probability higher? What are those athletes doing that we're not? What is another tool that we could use in the gym, whether it's a mental coach, whether it's a physio, whether it's what other things can we do to give you a better chance at success? But I feel there are certain areas that the parents should stay out of, because they start to get a little too involved in the science of things. And it's very easy to read something on the internet and develop your own training style. And if that doesn't go hand in hand with what your coach believes in, then it's only going to bring stress to the athlete. It's only going to bring stress to the coach. So I think my biggest advice to parents would be to be the support, and to understand that they are going to fail more than they're going to succeed in the beginning, and to be there to support them and to help them make a plan on how they're mentally going to approach the next day. Because I find now with our athletes now that I work with, and athletes that I worked with in the past, that when I ask them what didn't go well today, they focus on an element. They focus on the marshmallow. And then when I ask them, what is the goal for tomorrow? They focus again on the goal, not on how. And so I think focusing on how can we do that? How can you make that better is probably one of the most valuable advices I can give to the parents. I have quite a few, to be honest. In my starting years, my high school coach was my biggest inspiration, because of course he instilled the love for the sport in me as a prepubescent and pubescent boy. Instilling love in anything at that point is a task. So he was very much an inspiration and a molder of my philosophy as a young coach. When I moved to Germany a few years ago, I was surrounded by many experts in the field who are very highly regarded, and I would have to say that the whole coaching staff of people that I worked with in Germany, head coach Gula Koch, and two of our experts, Nick Ruddock and C.A. Orchard, who came in and worked with us at the national team camps, are two of the most inspiring people as human beings, but also some of the top coaches in the world that make me every day want to be a better coach. And I would also say that my partner coach in Germany, Tatjana Bachmeier, she embraced me being a new coach into the high development area. I had not had a lot of experience developing elite gymnasts as a whole. I had worked with individual events and doing this, but as a head coach, I had not had a lot of experience in that area, and she really embraced that and helped me become a better coach and helped me network with all these good people. So, like I said, when I say I've been very blessed, I really have had some of the best coaches around to help me become a better coach to learn from. Not being open to other ways of thinking, or the importance of developing your own knowledge always. For the first, I would say, 10 years of my coaching career, I was the boss at my gym. And because I was the boss, I felt that I needed to display that I knew the most. And so I often didn't accept that my way was the wrong way. I often didn't accept that there were other ways to do it. And so as a general theme, that was probably my biggest mistake. And as a result of that, Some of my most successful athletes, looking back on it, and we have the old saying, if I knew then what I knew now, how much better would they be? And so I would say in that respect, from a gymnastics success standpoint, I wish I would have been more open to my own personal development, because those athletes would have had the same coaching philosophy. I don't believe that would have changed anything, but their opportunity in sport would have been much greater. And for that, I do regret not being as open. I just want people, the world, my athletes to feel like I brought a positive energy to the sport, that I brought love for the sport to them, um, not only because of the sport and the successes. Of course, in sport, we want to be successful, but I just love the sport, and I want people to feel that when they work with me. But I would personally like to be involved in anything and everything that can be to better the mental development and the change in coaching strategy from the old school to the new school. I've always been told that I'm never going to be successful because of my choices in philosophy, and I have been surrounded by some coaches who have chose that way and have been successful. So I hope to be, in one way or another, held in high enough regard to be seen as somebody who has helped bridge that change. I think being American, we don't see enough of the world. I always say that to foreigners, and they just laugh because they know this is a stereotype. But I never really realized that until I lived overseas. And so for me, traveling overseas and seeing other countries and putting yourself in other people's shoes, where you're the one that has to adapt to a new culture, it really opened my eyes as a coach to, I have to do these things different because they do things different. And I wasn't really open to doing that very long before that. And so being in a different world where you don't know the language, or up is down and down is up. I mean, I moved to Australia, and I thought we both spoke English. We don't speak the same language. I didn't know what some of those words were. I didn't know how they did things. So I had to adapt my training. So for me, getting out and seeing the world, seeing people that you know are successful, and go shadow them and watch them do their job and formulate your own opinion on why are they good. Because there are tons of people out there, in my opinion, who are doing it wrong, but they are very successful. And formulate your own opinion. Go to people that you know produce high level athletes, or know produce things that you want your goal as a coach to be, and then form your own philosophy from the majority of the good things that you take from every one of those coaches. Don't just get started with your own view and focus so much on that view that you don't see outside of your own little box. And the second thing for me would just be, keep in mind that sport is short. There are a lot of sports out there that they have a longer career, but for the most part, high performance sport is a very short time frame when you're talking about a person's life. So think about the ways that you're affecting this athlete in a positive and negative way, and for how long those things are going to follow them. Do you want to be seen as somebody who they look back and you gave the tools for them to be successful and to be happy in life? Or do you want to be the person that they said, I'm this kind of person because I never want to be like that person? And those would probably be the two most important things I would say.